Alright, welcome back to part 2 of Leta versus ZeRo, and ZeRo has now got his first few lurkers in a sort of containment position outside of Leta's natural expansion. It does look like Leta has a science facility out, and he's got a factory with a machine shop, so he's going to be producing a couple of tanks, so he's transitioning into sort of an SK Terran build with medic marines, a couple of tanks, and he'll have science vessels out shortly. It will be a little bit before he gets any irradiation to finally deal with all of these mutalisks, but he has done a nice job of at least slowing down the mutalisk harassment. I think those mutalisks have only killed just a handful of SCVs and some marines that were out in the field. However, Leta's unsuccessfly attempted to, use his medic marines to break through the sunken colonies of ZeRo twice, and hasn't really done any damage for that other than trading some small armies. But it looks like ZeRo is trying to get his, very nice job by Leta, trapping in 3, I think, of those 4 lurkers, and on top of that high ground, I think ZeRo is trying to kind of hide them there. Maybe he was going to hold them for later on if any units moved up there, but Leta doing a nice job in catching them in transition, wiping out that whole lurker fleet. I don't know what you call a group of lurkers. A flock of lurkers, who knows? They're not flying, so that seems a little weird. But anyways, oh wow, great irradiation and a pretty bad, it was a decent split, I guess, by ZeRo, but nice irradiation right on that group of mutalisks, doing a lot of damage. So those mutalisks are going to be very weak, and now Leta's in a comfortable position to just move forward with his medic marines. He's got 3 tanks at least, and a few science vessels, but or 1 science vessel so far. But he's got to make sure to protect that science vessel against any scourge that are going to be coming out by ZeRo. So he's got to keep that, over his marines as much as possible. And it looks like he's going to be trying to break through that front door on the natural expansion once again, and he's in a nice position. I think he irradiated a couple of those lurkers. I got the sound down pretty low, I can't really hear, but his science vessel is really far forward, and it does get taken out by those scourge. Meanwhile, a flank attack by some lurkers that ZeRo had. This is a really nice move. He had some lurkers and mutalisks out in the field, and those were able to flank and kill off most of the forces in there, but there's still a pretty sizable medical marine force that's clearing out the natural expansion. Is this going to be enough? I think he should probably... he lost his chance. I think if he had focused fire really quickly on that hatchery, he might have even been able to take it down, but he still did a lot of damage, cleared out all of the drones that were there. Right now it does look like ZeRo has moved all the way up. He's got hive tech. He's got his defiler mound out. He's just going to be waiting for consume. I don't know. I haven't seen any defilers out on the field, so it's going to be a minute for that to come out. But he's got to get consume up before they're going to be particularly useful. But Leta is taking map control back, getting out of that lurker containment, and he's just wandering around the field as he pleases with his science vessels, his medic marines, and his tanks. And so there we have the first defiler out for ZeRo, and that could be a game changer. I'm not sure how ZeRo is with his great irradiation though. The very first defiler that comes out gets irradiated by that science vessel, and that's going to be a pretty crippling blow. That first defiler is pretty important. I mean, with Zerg, once they have consume on their defilers, wow, that was a close call. Leta almost losing another science vessel. But, once they have consume for their defilers, they can pretty much cast Dark Swarm at will. And that is a very nice swarm right there. That's just a great place on the map where, the Leta's units are going to be having to come around that corner, and if you just put that Dark Swarm on the corner over a couple of lurkers, then Leta's just going to take a ton of damage before you can get anywhere in there. It looks like ZeRo has put up sort of a hidden, maybe, expansion. I think Leta has scouted that. It looks like he is sending some troops over in that direction. Actually, 2. I think he took the main and the natural expansion of the northwest position. Oh no, he's got a bunch of science vessels out in the field, but no marines there to protect them. He loses one, he might lose another one. Oh, just saves another one. Gets some medic marines under there just in time. He drops down a couple of irradiations. I think he might have hit a Zergling with one of those, but I think the other one was on a defiler. There's still one defiler on the field, and he's dropping some Dark Swarms to try to protect this natural expansion of the northwest position. But that is his fourth base. Leta just trying to get up his third right now, and those dark swarms are just being placed all over the place in that natural expansion, and Leta's going to have to back up from this attack. So now's the time at the point, now's the point in the match where I'd like to see Leta bring out his dropships, because he does have really great dropship play, and just a dropship of Medica Marines can be enough to take out an undefended base. And pretty soon there's going to be cracklings and maybe even ultralisk out if ZeRo is going to be able to, keep up all of these expansions. And if he gets his fifth expansion, then it could be on. And just like I was thinking, here come the dropships. It looks like 3 dropships. That's more than I was anticipating. I was imagining just 1 or maybe 2 full of Medica Marines. He scans it out. There are a couple of Scourge in the area, so he might be deciding to take a different path. But actually, ZeRo doing a nice job of putting Scourge all around the map. And oh no, he sent his Scourge out after 1 dropship, but meanwhile 2 other ones come in and drop into the main base of ZeRo, actually. So he's doing this, and at the same time he's going in and attacking over at that natural expansion of the northwest position. So a 2-pronged attack coming here from Leta, and he's putting a lot of harassment here on ZeRo. I don't think that drop in the main base was able to do anything. Yeah, it looks like he just killed off a couple of Zerglings, so not very successful. He also lost one of his dropships in that attack, but he's still sieging this natural expansion of the northwest position, the 4th base. But ZeRo's still comfortably got his main in natural. He's also got the main base in the northwest, I believe. And using his Nidus Canal as well to keep funneling units into this base. Leta, I think he has got his 3rd base up, but I still don't see anything, any more bases going down right now. So he's just going to be trying to, mass up some more forces, and once he gets, a really sizable group of Medica Marines along with these tanks, then he's going to be able to just push into one of these bases finally. And ZeRo's just going to be having to sit back and use these dark swarms to keep protecting this base. Leta is actually up on that high ground that I was talking about at the very beginning of the map and sieging there, but it's not being particularly successful because of all the dark swarm that's in the area. Dark swarm over lurkers is just a really powerful combination. So ZeRo's keeping his defilers in play, keeping them in position, and placing some really nice swarms. Oh wow, and just another science vessel snipe. So, Leta needs to do a little bit better of a job to protect his science vessels, but also we're seeing a group of Zerglings coming out and clearing out the base. Oh my, the 3rd base of Leta is actually having to be lifted because he had nothing there to defend against just a handful of Zerglings. I don't know if they have the, I don't know, what do you call it, the adrenal gland upgrade, the crack upgrade, as it's more commonly known for his Zerglings. But, Leta still had to, take all of his SCVs out of there and lift his command center. So that's a pretty good harassment while Leta is still only on 2 bases. And this is the point in the map. He's probably running out of minerals at his main base if he hasn't already. Pretty similar with his natural expansion, just because he expanded so early. That expansion is also going to be running light pretty quickly. Same position though for ZeRo, so fairly even economically, but we're still waiting for one player to get a real decisive victory, and it looks, wow, that was a really nice plague. I was like, oh man, Leta just built a lot of fire bats, but that wasn't fire bats, that was plague Terrans, plague Marines, I mean, and the plague also catching one of those science vessels, so that's going to drain a lot of that medic energy, so those medic Marines are going to be much less effective, and also once again placing that dark swarm perfectly on that corner to protect the natural expansion of the northwest position. And it looks like I'm going to need to take one more break here, so I'm going to split the video and we'll catch you in part 3.